I left Hallmark, and this lady in front of me was checking out. And of course, she has an American flag on her shirt because the nationalism. And then the back of her shirt is Charlie Kirk with a massive cross with huge wings, warrior for Christ on the sleeve. And I know you're going to be shocked, but it was a white woman. I know. Shocked. I know. I was shocked too that it was a white woman. It's amazing. We had 41,000 people die from gun violence last year. 41,000. Over 40,000 the year before. Over 40,000 the year before. And the year before. And the year before. Nothing from these cosplay white Christian nationalists except thoughts and prayers. Thoughts and prayers. There's nothing we can do. Just weeks before the racist podcaster was the victim of a school shooting, 7-year-olds were murdered in a Catholic church. I thought putting the 10 Commandments on the wall was going to stop people from shooting each other. That if we turn to God, and all they got, thoughts and prayers. Senator Melissa Hortman, months before, her and her husband and her dog shot in her house. Thoughts and prayers. This Christmas, 5 officers who are no longer here will not be celebrating with their families and their children because of January 6th. Thoughts and prayers. But a racist podcaster who joked about gay people being thrown out of buildings in Gaza, who asked for the execution of Joe Biden, who said the blacks are taking the whites' jobs, who said that black pilots aren't qualified, all of a sudden, people get t-shirts and reenact the tent of the school shooting. They don't care about anybody except themselves. You want to know why they care about him? They don't care about him as a person. He was a bad person. He was a racist and a white supremacist. He symbolized the white male patriarchy. What they're upset about is when he said, I thought that dead Americans was worth the cost of the Second Amendment. And no, that's not taken out of context. That's what he said. You just don't want to listen to it. You thought it would be somebody else. You thought it would be black people or immigrants or minorities or Asians or Muslims or Afghans. So you can say, look, it's an immigrant. And now it allows them to be the victim once again. For once in their lives, their white privilege had a little bit of being frowned upon. It got touched. Their privilege that they've lived their entire lives behind their cosplay Christianity and their crosses and their Bibles while they vote for a president who sexually assaults women. Finally, something in their life went, oh my gosh, that happened to somebody I knew. You didn't know him. You weren't his friend. You weren't his family member. You just liked the racist crap that he had to say. And it allows you to be the victim. They did the same thing with Lincoln Riley last year. Out of the 41,000 people that died from gun violence, including officers, including children, it was an undocumented immigrant. Ooh, let's pass bills and put her name up on the wall and name bills after her and let's argue about it and change the laws. Look, it's the brown people. That's what they do. It's about being the white victim. None of these people were outraged about Ahmaud Arbery being chased down by 3 white MAGAs. Nothing to see here. U.S. citizens. Hey, that's okay. They're homegrown. How about George Floyd murdered by a white cop? U.S. citizen. Nope, sorry. Thoughts and prayers. But let's focus on the 7% of BLM protests that were bad and be the victim once again. And that's the problem. They care more about the needle in the haystack and focusing on one bad part of something so they can be the white victim. Lincoln Riley, who is a loser, finished 6th place. Literally, she's an actual loser. She didn't finish 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, or 5th. She finished 6th. And her entire white platform is white grievance. She wasn't good enough. So she blamed somebody that wasn't a straight white evangelical, a trans person. You still didn't finish that high because you weren't good enough. But instead of taking personal responsibility, She needs to be the victim. And you know who she attracts? White people who want to be the victim. The only people in this country that haven't been the victim are white people. Black people have been treated like crap since the inception of this country, going back to the Middle Passage. And you don't want to talk about history. You don't want to talk about Jim Crow or slavery or lynchings or tearing fetuses out of black women. You don't want to talk about any of that. But a racist podcaster, it's just a bridge too far. We're going to celebrate him. We're going to praise him. We're going to worship him. We're going to act like he's Jesus Christ himself. That's why we're here. He symbolized white supremacy in this country, the white male patriarchy. And they're scared of a white minority. So they're going to be the victim at every little turn. Every school shooting, every mass shooting. What's the first thing you see? Was it a brown person? Was it an immigrant? Was it a Muslim? Who can I blame that's not white? But when it's a white person, you know, there's nothing we can do. Nope. As long as they're white, it's okay. And they're just salivating for it to be a transgender or a gay person or somebody on the radical left. And this white lady symbolizes that. Donald Trump is not the problem with this country. He is a symptom of a larger sickness. The fear of a white minority. And that's what people like this Karen stand for. Victim mentality. They always see the glass as half empty. Always. And it has to be people that look like me that call it out. Because we're the ones that have benefited. We're the ones that have privilege off this society. It has to be called out. This is not about the price of eggs, the price of gas. It is about maintaining the white male patriarchy. We have to stop kidding ourselves. It was never about the price of eggs. This country would rather suffer under the rule of a white man than thrive under a black woman. And that Karen would never, ever, ever, ever vote for a black woman. Have a good day.